And people try to associate. I remember when, this is a strange thing to remember at this time, but I remember when Jack Kennedy was alive.
Hollywood has long been a factory of timeless beauty icons, but in a world once dominated by rigid beauty standards, black women have rewritten the rules, and they're still doing it. These women don't just possess breathtaking, razor-sharp beauty, they shatter stereotypes and command the screen with an irresistible, magnetic allure. Their beauty isn't just about perfect features, it's an untamed, primal energy, an intoxicating force that defies explanation. They aren't just actresses or singers, they are goddesses, legends, forces of nature that demand the world's attention every time they appear. But among the countless faces that have ruled the screen, who truly reigns as the queen of sensuality, the embodiment of a beauty so mesmerizing the world can't help but stare? Can you guess who takes the top spot on this list? Could it be the blaxploitation queen Pam Grier? Or the smoldering beauty Jane Kennedy? Today's lineup will surprise you, and trust me, the top three will leave you absolutely speechless. Let's dive right in. Top 10. Vonetta McGee, the screen queen with a hypnotic gaze. If Hollywood had a ranking dedicated solely to eyes that speak volumes, no one could claim the throne except Vonetta McGee. She didn't need extravagant gowns or layers of elaborate makeup, just a subtle glance, a half smile, or a mysterious tilt of her head, and you were instantly drawn into her world. Some actresses captivate with traditional beauty, perfect features, an irresistible hourglass figure. But Vonetta possessed a quiet allure, a refined magnetism, like the dim glow of a luxurious bar, like a smooth jazz melody playing deep into the night. Her beauty didn't scream for attention, yet it lingered in people's minds long after she was gone. Vonetta stepped into Hollywood and quickly made her mark with a string of iconic films such as Blackula, 1972, Shaft in Africa, 1973, and The Eiger Sanction, 1975. In these films, she wasn't just a pretty face decorating the screen, she was the moment, the woman who made leading men like Clint Eastwood step back and let her shine. She didn't need daring dresses or explicit scenes to exude sensuality. Her eyes alone held entire galaxies of passion, mystery, and pride. When she moved, there was a gracefulness in every step, as if time itself slowed down just to let people admire every perfect detail of her presence. But despite having both unparalleled talent and beauty, Vonetta was never given the opportunities she deserved. Hollywood at the time wasn't ready for a black actress to rise to superstardom. No matter how effortlessly she outshone her co-stars, the industry kept her confined to supporting roles, reducing her to a mere ornament for the male leads. Vonetta should have been a legend. But fate had other plans. As Hollywood entered a new era, it quickly discarded one of the most mesmerizing women ever to grace the silver screen. As her golden years faded, Vonetta retreated from the spotlight, choosing a quieter life. No more grand parties, no more flashing cameras. Hollywood may have forgotten her, but those who had seen her on screen could never erase her from their memories. In 2010, Vonetta McGee took her final breath at the age of 65 due to heart disease. A queen who once bewitched the world had become a distant yet beautiful memory in the hearts of those who had adored her. But who could possibly surpass Vonetta McGee? Stay tuned for the next name, a queen with curves to die for. Top 9. Freddie Gibbs, the wild allure of a warrior queen. When people think of sensual beauty, they often picture women with dreamy eyes, soft curves, and delicate femininity. But Freddie Gibbs redefined that perception entirely. She wasn't just beautiful, she was powerful. Hers was a raw, untamed beauty, bursting with energy so magnetic that it was impossible to look away. Freddie Gibbs wasn't the kind of woman who floated gracefully like a gentle breeze. She strode with authority, like a queen walking into her palace. A sculpted waist, long, unwavering legs, strong yet undeniably feminine shoulders, she was the perfect fusion of a warrior and a goddess. Her bronzed skin gleamed like honey, her full lips carried a mysterious smile, and her piercing gaze could see right through you. She didn't just captivate men, she intimidated them in the most intoxicating way possible. But Freddie wasn't just a beauty icon, she was a martial arts legend. As one of the first black female fighters to win on the international stage, she proved that strength and sensuality are not mutually exclusive. Few women at the time dared to step beyond Hollywood's limits. But Freddie shattered every rule. She could grace the cover of Vogue in the morning and take down an opponent in the ring by night. Throughout the 80s and 90s, Freddie was everywhere: movies, commercials, magazines, and sports arenas. She embodied powerful elegance, a woman who could dominate any arena she entered. Yet, despite her undeniable talent and beauty, Hollywood never gave Freddie her rightful place. The industry was still too rigid, too conservative to embrace a woman who could be both fierce and irresistibly sexy, a woman who could knock out a man in the ring yet still turn heads on the red carpet. Meanwhile, white supermodels like Cindy Crawford and Claudia Schiffer were constantly celebrated, while Freddie was never given the same spotlight she deserved. But there was one thing Hollywood could never take from her: her legacy. Freddie Gibbs paved the way for future generations, proving that beauty isn't just about curves, it's about strength, confidence, and an unbreakable spirit. Unlike many other forgotten stars, Freddie never faded away. She continues to inspire, mentoring young women to chase their dreams, believe in themselves, and never let the world define their limits. She may not be on screen anymore, but Freddie remains a living monument to the classic beauty and strength of black women. She never needed a crown; she was a queen from the very moment she stepped into the ring of life. But who could possibly surpass Freddie Gibbs? If Freddie only ranks at number 9, then who has the power to outshine her beauty and commanding presence? Stay tuned, because the next name on this list will leave you absolutely stunned. Top 8. Lena Horne, the flawless beauty of a timeless icon. If Marilyn Monroe was the ultimate bombshell of white Hollywood, then Lena Horne was the perfect counterpart for black beauty and elegance. She wasn't just stunning, she carried herself with the aura of a queen. A touch of sophistication, a hint of mystery, and a razor-sharp intellect, Lena Horne was the epitome of timeless perfection. Born into a family of artists, Lena was destined for greatness. By the 1940s, she had already cemented her place as one of Hollywood's brightest stars, appearing in legendary films like Stormy Weather, 1943. But she wasn't just an actress, she was also a gifted singer, with a voice as smooth as silk, leaving audiences spellbound. Lena was a trailblazer, breaking barriers for black artists at a time when opportunities for women of color were nearly non-existent. She made history as one of the first black actresses to sign a contract with MGM, a feat that was almost unheard of during that era. But despite her success, her journey was anything but easy. Racial prejudices kept her from landing the leading roles she deserved. Hollywood constantly tried to limit her, to keep her in the background, but Lena refused to be sidelined. She became an outspoken advocate for racial equality, using her voice not only to sing but to fight for justice. Lena Horne passed away in 2010 at the age of 92. Her life was a continuous battle, but she never bowed to oppression. She left this world as she lived, a queen, unyielding, unforgettable. But now, let's talk about the next name on this list: Eartha Kitt, the woman who could make men melt with just a single sentence. Top 7. Eartha Kitt, the woman who made men lose control. If there was ever a woman who could make men melt with just a whisper, it was undoubtedly Eartha Kitt. She wasn't just breathtakingly beautiful, she possessed a voice so husky and hypnotic, it sent shivers down the spine of anyone who heard it. Eartha Kitt wasn't conventionally beautiful. She didn't have doe-like eyes or a sweet, innocent pout. She was a wild panther, sharp, dangerous, and utterly irresistible. With her honey-toned skin, razor-sharp cheekbones, and a gaze that seemed to pierce right through your soul, Eartha could make men weak just by stepping into a room. But what truly set her apart was the way she wielded her voice. Whether she was talking about the weather or whispering sweet nothings, every word dripped like smooth jazz, seducing everyone within earshot. Eartha Kitt rose to stardom in the 50s and 60s, captivating the world with sultry hits like Santa Baby, a song still considered the gold standard of sensuality in music. But it was her legendary portrayal of Catwoman in Batman, 1967, that sealed her status as an icon. She wasn't just beautiful, she was dangerous, an intoxicating mix of seduction and dominance that left audiences worldwide mesmerized. With her body-hugging dresses, slow, deliberate movements, and lips curled as if holding onto a secret, Eartha Kitt embodied classic allure, but with the power of a goddess. Yet, despite her dazzling career, Eartha faced Hollywood's cruelest betrayals. After publicly criticizing the Vietnam War at a White House event in 1968, she was blacklisted. Major studios cut ties, contracts vanished, and she was forced to leave the U.S. for years. But Eartha Kitt never bowed. She kept performing, kept creating, kept making the world look up in awe. Even when she passed away in 2008 at the age of 81, she remained one of the most mesmerizing women to ever grace the screen. You'd think Eartha Kitt was the pinnacle of beauty and power, but the next woman on this list? She will leave you absolutely stunned. Top 6. Tamara Dobson, the queen with a divine physique. If there was ever a woman who could make men feel small, it was undoubtedly Tamara Dobson. Standing at an astonishing 6 feet 2 inches, 1.88 meters, a rare height for an actress at the time, she was a towering force of beauty, power, and undeniable charisma. Tamara was no delicate flower. She was a warrior, a goddess descended from Olympus, exuding confidence and strength with every move. Her broad shoulders, cinched waist, and endlessly long legs made her a walking masterpiece. But she didn't just rely on her statuesque figure. Her full lips, piercing gaze, and aura of dominance made her irresistibly captivating. While some women seduced with sweetness, Tamara seduced with sheer intensity. She became a household name in action films like Cleopatra Jones, 1973, where she defined the blaxploitation era. With her voluminous afro, skin-tight jumpsuits that accentuated her flawless figure, and an electrifying screen presence, Tamara stunned Hollywood. She wasn't just a beauty icon, she was a force of nature, a woman who commanded every scene and left men in awe. Very few actresses at the time had the ability to own the screen the way Tamara did. She wasn't just a pretty face, she was a genuine action star, a woman who made even the toughest male characters take a step back. But despite her blazing start, Tamara's career didn't last as long as it should have. When the blaxploitation genre faded in the late 70s, Hollywood lost interest in strong, powerful black women like her. She gradually disappeared from the spotlight, choosing a quieter life. No longer seen at Hollywood's extravagant parties, Tamara faced a battle much tougher than anything she had on screen. She was diagnosed with scleroderma, a rare and painful disease that weakened her body over time. In 2006, Tamara Dobson passed away at the age of 59. A queen had left her kingdom, but her image strong, seductive, and unforgettable remained. But now, we are getting closer to the greatest names. Prepare yourself, because the next name on this list might just be the one you've secretly admired all along. Top 5. Dorothy Dandridge, the Black Marilyn Monroe, a beauty that left Hollywood breathless. When it comes to timeless, fiery beauty, few can compare to Dorothy Dandridge, the woman often referred to as the Black Marilyn Monroe. But she was more than just her breathtaking looks. She possessed a natural magnetism, an irresistible allure that left the world spellbound. Dorothy wasn't just beautiful, she was a dream, something so passionate yet fragile that people felt the need to protect her. Her caramel-toned skin, soft old Hollywood waves, mysterious almond-shaped eyes, and full, kissable lips made her the epitome of sophistication and sensuality. Her figure-hugging strapless dresses accentuated her tiny waist and curvaceous silhouette, radiating an air of both elegance and innocence. When Dorothy smiled, Hollywood held its breath. And when she wept, the world plunged into darkness with her. Dorothy made history as the first black woman to be nominated for a Best Actress Oscar for her unforgettable role in Carmen Jones, 1954. As Carmen, a dangerously seductive and untamed woman, Dorothy stunned the world with her boldness and undeniable charm. She wasn't just an actress, she was a cinematic goddess, an unprecedented force in Hollywood. But behind the glitz and glamour, Dorothy faced relentless racial discrimination. The industry that idolized her beauty also limited her opportunities, refusing to let a black woman take the same leading roles as her white counterparts. Crushed by systemic racism and personal struggles, Dorothy spiraled into despair. A failed marriage, mounting debts, and crippling depression led her down a tragic path. In 1965, at just 42 years old, she was found dead under mysterious circumstances in her small Los Angeles apartment. But this list is far from over. Who could possibly surpass Dorothy Dandridge? Get ready, because up next is Diane Carroll, a woman whose beauty was both impossibly elegant and dangerously seductive. Top 4. Diane Carroll, the epitome of elegance and temptation. No one blended regal sophistication and lethal seduction quite like Diane Carroll. She embodied refinement, yet she was also the kind of woman who could ensnare anyone with a single glance. If Marilyn Monroe represented bold sensuality, then Diane Carroll was the queen of understated allure. Her perfectly styled hair, radiant chocolate-toned skin, piercing gaze, and enigmatic half-smile made her the ultimate muse, the kind of woman every other woman wanted to be. She didn't need revealing dresses or dramatic makeup. Diane Carroll only had to walk into a room, and suddenly, everything and everyone around her became insignificant. Diane made history as the first black woman to lead an American television series in her groundbreaking role in Julia, 1968 to 1971. The show was a massive success, catapulting her into Hollywood's elite and solidifying her status as one of the most influential black actresses of all time. She continued to mesmerize audiences in the iconic 80s TV series Dynasty, proving that her beauty and talent were ageless and undeniable. Diane Carroll was more than just stunning, she was a legend, a woman whose presence could never be overshadowed. Even after her passing in 2019 at the age of 84, her legacy remains untouchable, inspiring generations to come. But if you think Diane Carroll was the pinnacle of beauty and power, just wait, the next name on this list will leave you speechless. Top 3. Lola Falana, the queen of the stage with a hypnotic gaze. If you ever watched a 1970s stage performance and saw a woman emerge, exuding sensuality, power, and an irresistible allure, then you were undoubtedly witnessing Lola Falana. She wasn't just a singer, dancer, and actress, she was the embodiment of glamour, a woman whose mere presence commanded attention. Lola Falana wasn't just blessed with a flawless physique, her long, sculpted legs, cinched waist, and elegantly bare shoulders were mesmerizing, but her strikingly sharp features made her look almost unreal. With feline eyes that could pierce through souls, full lips that carried a mysterious smile, and raven black hair that cascaded effortlessly with every movement, Lola was a goddess on stage. She didn't just look stunning, she knew how to control the audience, turning each of her movements into a work of art. At the height of her fame, she was crowned the Queen of Las Vegas, earning millions of dollars per year, a jaw-dropping figure for the era. She shared the spotlight with legends like Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra, becoming one of the most powerful black female entertainers Hollywood had ever seen. But Lola wasn't just a performer, she was a sharp, intelligent woman who knew her worth and refused to let anyone dictate her career or her life. However, behind the glitz and glamour, Lola's life wasn't always smooth sailing. In the 1980s, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, a debilitating disease that slowly weakened her body. From being a dazzling showgirl who set stages on fire, Lola found herself retreating from the limelight, seeking solace in her faith to help her endure the pain. She eventually left show business, dedicating her life to charity work and becoming an inspiration for thousands of women. But even though she left the stage, Lola Falana's name never faded. She remains an eternal symbol of seduction and elegance, a queen who will never be forgotten. Top 2. Pam Grier, the sensual icon of blaxploitation cinema. There is no one like Pam Grier. No one has ever embodied power, audacity, and raw sensuality the way she did. If Hollywood ever had a woman who could both terrify and tantalize men at the same time, it was Pam Grier. Pam Grier didn't have the delicate, ethereal beauty of classic Hollywood starlets. She had the untamed spirit of a warrior, the seductive aura of a goddess, and the unshakable presence of a woman who refused to submit. With bronzed skin, a full, luscious bust, a tiny waist, and long, toned legs, Pam Grier was the definition of powerful sensuality. She didn't need skin-tight dresses or over-the-top makeup. Pam only had to walk into a room, and the world surrendered. Pam Grier rose to fame in the 1970s as the reigning queen of blaxploitation cinema, a genre that put strong black protagonists at the center of action-packed films. Movies like Coffee, 1973, and Foxy Brown, 1974, made her Hollywood's ultimate action heroine, who just so happened to be incredibly sexy. Whether she was wielding a gun, delivering razor-sharp one-liners, or flashing a gaze that could cut through steel, Pam Grier wasn't just an action star, she was a goddess in motion, a force so mesmerizing that both men and women were left in awe. But Hollywood, as always, had its biases. Pam was deemed too powerful, too sexy, and too much to be a long-term leading lady in an industry that wasn't ready for a woman who could dominate every scene she was in. Still, Pam refused to be cast aside. She made a major comeback in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown, 1997, earning a Golden Globe nomination and proving that her presence was just as intoxicating as ever. Today, though her golden era has passed, Pam Grier remains a living legend, an icon of strength, independence, and timeless beauty. But if you think Pam Grier was the peak of Hollywood's ultimate femme fatale, think again. There is one woman who outshines even her, a name that shook Hollywood to its core. Top 1. Jane Kennedy, the beauty that brought Hollywood to its knees. If there was ever a woman who could make both men and women lose control, it was Jane Kennedy. She wasn't just beautiful, she was the definition of sensuality, a living masterpiece, something even Renaissance sculptors would have bowed down to in admiration. Imagine a woman walking into a room, saying nothing, making no effort to command attention, yet every eye is instantly drawn to her. That was Jane Kennedy. Her face was flawless, as if sculpted by the gods' deep, mesmerizing eyes, sharp yet irresistibly inviting, as if one gaze from her could pull you into a seductive abyss with no escape. Her full, luscious lips, soft as velvet, curled into a mysterious, teasing smile that made hearts race. And her skin rich caramel, smooth and radiant, as if the sun itself had poured golden light over her body. There were no imperfections, just pure, glowing, liquid gold. Jane's beauty wasn't just about her looks, it was a perfect blend of seduction, elegance, and undeniable power. She could make anyone fall under her spell within seconds. Some women need words to capture attention. Jane Kennedy didn't need to speak. She simply existed, and the entire atmosphere changed. Jane Kennedy made history as the first black woman to become a sportscaster on American television, a world dominated by white men. She also graced countless magazine covers, becoming a superstar throughout the 70s and 80s. Wherever she went, Jane Kennedy was the center of attention. Even though Hollywood never truly gave her the recognition she deserved, Jane Kennedy's legend never faded. She continues to be remembered as one of the most breathtaking black beauty icons of all time. And that's why she is the ultimate queen of this list. Hollywood once tried to define beauty standards, but the women on this list shattered every limit. They are not just beautiful, they are powerful, bold, and irresistibly alluring in their own unique way. They don't wait for recognition, they become legends on their own terms. These stunning women didn't just leave behind breathtaking films, they left behind a statement. Sensuality isn't just about luscious red lips or perfect curves, it's about confidence, charisma, and an unyielding presence that refuses to be overlooked. All the information in this video has been gathered from reputable sources and is intended for informational purposes only. We encourage viewers to explore multiple sources to gain a well-rounded and accurate perspective. Don't forget to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and follow our channel to stay updated on future videos. Together, let's discover fascinating insights into global culture. Subscribe now to receive our latest videos as soon as they're released.